Go.
Video. It's
Oh.
10:41 p.m. here. What time is it there?
I sent you that one, right? We don't have anything to talk about. There's very little in my brain. I'm just I'm very all I do is I meditate and I imagine design work and it will pop
Dude,
up.
whenever we talk for 5 hours. What are you talking about? My longest conversation is with you on Facebook.
I'm trying to be an opposing force here, so like, trying to be difficult, right? I've been, how you were talking about how going with the flow,
Yeah,
and like I've been seeing like not being resistant. When you're resistant to things.
Talk about art.
Hey,
Chris says talk about art.
this is relating to art. This is relating to art.
Oh,
It's all relating to art. Everything is art. Like mindset is art. Like you got to realize that. I think a lot of people expect just talk about art, but when you have a certain mindset and you sit down and you work and you find yourself being in that point of it's not constructive. It's like you're being resistant to doing things. Like when you there's a difference. Like when you need to work and you need to do, like, say let's for example, you need to unwrap a character, UV map it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing. It's a thing you need to do, but it's like it's a flow thing. It's still under the flow. You still got to do it. It's like when you are resistant to things, and I think that those are the things you shouldn't be doing. That's the tricky thing to explain, right? How do you It's like saying you're gonna start working on something that it's really saying that you're gonna work on something you have literally no interest in. And that's when you're gonna start being resistant.
There's two ways to do that, right? Like, for example, I was doing I'm actually trying to finish a personal work now. I showed it to you, the wireframe for the guy, the big troll or ogre that I'm making. I started that last year. I finished the high res, and I was too lazy to do the low res because I wasn't enjoying it, and I was more focused on, doing designs and detailing and exploring my ideas and things like that. And then what I discovered, the way to do it was like I was like, I'm gonna gradually finish it over 2 months. When I have nothing to do, I want to meditate. So I sat down and I just like finished the low res slowly, right? Or I was looking for reasons to finish it. Like, for example, people were asking me, how do you make low res or UVs? So I was like, maybe I should do a live video and just explain to people, just chat, have fun with it, and then finish the work.
It's perfect.
And then what I discovered is like, it wasn't boring at that point. And then this weekend I wanted to finish it. It was boring, but I was like, I need to go through this because I'm on the last 20% of the job. So if I finish it, then I don't have to deal with it anymore. It's going to be done. And it's interesting because every time I did some characters, mostly like I remember like all the game characters that I did was for studios. I never tried to sit down and with the current knowledge that I have to do something for myself, personal project. So I was like, maybe I should take this opportunity, and no matter how boring or hard it is, I should just finish it.
Yeah.
So
pretty much that's like what I'm doing now for rebuilding the helmet that I've already concepted in ZBrush, and I have to finish. Like you have to do the somewhat boring sub D rebuild, but doing that will be really, really rewarding, and because you eventually get the thing you want done, essentially. So that's the thing. It's like I have to go through the surfaces, even out all the surfaces, but I wouldn't get it done otherwise. But it's boring. But like I would have to. It's like a meditative like thing. I know how to do it, and you achieve you can look at it and you go, well, I've already worked on this thing. It's like I feel like I've already worked on it once. I've already sat there and designed on it, and then I have to do it again. And that's the kind of like, well, it's not that I'm resistant to it. It's that I am procrastinating on it. It's kind of like there's a point.
That's the procrastination is the part that if you get over it, And you know what's interesting? When you start doing, I think the start of something is the most important part of the job. Like no matter what, like whatever you want to do, it's just the start. It's like if you turn on your engine, then for me it's actually like that. When I'm tired of doing something, if I start my engine and do it, then I cannot stop until I finish it.
Yeah.
There's a force actually pushing me forward. Yeah. So the start actually, that's why like the start is something that people procrastinate on. But if you start it, then it becomes easier.
Well, obviously. You know how you said that. I think people can start things, but then you have to make sure you're not distracted when you're doing it, like when you're working on it. Yeah. I think people who are distracted, they don't have a set routine, or they have bad behaviors, and like I don't know, they go sit and watch TV or something like that, or go.
Oh no, I don't even watch TV at all, like zero. The only thing I do, I watch a lot, like listen to a lot of YouTube when I work, or answer when people message or stuff. That's kind of distracting. Well, but I actually found that it never made me to stop doing what I want to do. So
well, you're pretty quick on Facebook. I'm surprised how like quick you respond. I can't be like that.
I'm fast.
I gotta like zone. The most focused I am is like when I'm listening to music. Like
I don't know why. For me, it's like I can focus. Like I can talk to you and I can type here. Like I can listen to you, type here, answer someone else.
What? Yeah. I think it's because you have a second language, perhaps. I think you're putting it in another part of your brain, perhaps.
There is one more reason for that: music, playing piano.
Yeah.
When I play piano, I use both hands separately. Yes. Left hand plays something else. Right hand plays something else. So I have to really think about two things. Left side is controlling right hand, right?
Yes.
So like left side, I'm thinking about the right hand. And it's just weird. I can exactly think about two things at the same time when I play piano.
Oh, wow.
Like left hand, I can say, okay, now this I have to play this note, and the right hand I have to play C sharp, for example. And I know it. It's like it's just weird. First, it wasn't like this in the beginning. I couldn't. So in the beginning, I couldn't.
So you're saying playing piano has helped you develop a somewhat of a multitasking ability?
Yeah, it did.
Interesting.
And I'm more focused on the stuff. Like when I do something, I can focus better.
I might actually like. I've always been interested in doing piano. I might actually.
You should.
I might actually get a piano. I saw. You can get one of those digital ones, and you can hook it up to Alberton 10 or Live, and
there is one that I actually like. It's called Nord 4.
Nord 4.
Yeah, that's a digital piano. If you want to share it, maybe people can see as well.
Nord.
That's the one. If I get, I'll get that. But I have a grand piano. It's very expensive as well.
Yeah, I mean,
like I killed myself to buy it.
Imagine.
I was on rice and beans.
So it's like a red piano we're looking at.
Yeah, that's the one.
Nice.
That's actually not expensive. That's like $3,000 digital piano. It's used for composing music, and you can even play classical music with it.
Oh, really? Is there like a model down, like if from here? Because $3,000 would be pretty high entry if you're
No, dude, $3,000 is cheap for a piano.
Is it?
That's yeah, of course. I'll tell you what my piano is, but I don't want to talk about the price.
Yeah, we can assume it.
Whatever.
The grand piano is grand. It's like.
Let me actually show you my piano.
Anyone can just look up how much a grand piano costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not cheap because they're the
Diamond Imperial.
I think anything the olden way of building something and not digital. This is why I think we've gone towards digital. It's probably somewhat cheaper. I imagine it is cheaper. So
this is my piano. Let me show it to you. It's called Schimmel Diamond Imperial Grand Piano.
I think you get
a handmade German piano.
Send it over Facebook so I can open it up.
Yeah, this one. Let me see if I can find more images. But I think actually this is the one exact. Let me show you. I bought this one from this guy actually.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It's beautiful. And I just tuned it like 2 weeks ago. That sounds great. It just opens up your soul to beautiful.
It looks gold plated.
Yeah,
that's not gold plated, is it? Is it?
No, it's not. It's not gold. It's not gold, but it's the color of gold. Of course, it's not gold. Man. It's gonna cost you like millions. Like that's what I'm talking about.
I said gold plated. I was like, you could maybe get gold plated. You said it was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah, that would be that's some bowling money.
Yeah. Let me see if people want what people want us to talk about. Hey guys, tell us what you guys want us to talk about. Anything specific? We're just going here chatting, our regular chat, me and Mike, but we wanted to do it live.
I think it's 6 people.
We can. Huh?
6 people. It's going all right. But
Yeah.
like
it's kind of. Oh no, it's okay now. The image wasn't showing correctly first, but it's looking. It's correct now. 6 people. Oh, my friend is there. RB. Michael works are freaking awesome. RB is a good friend of mine. He's in LA. He knows you.
Oh, nice.
You can say hi to him, RB, now. You have a chance to say hi to Mike Nash.
Hey, RB, how's it going?
RB is awesome, actually. He's one of my very good friends. I know him from 2005, I think, right, RB? 2005, when we were back in Iran.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, we're friends since then. And then now he's...
Keep your friends like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to keep good friends. I have actually a couple of friends like that. Maybe I think I have like 3 friends, and now you're a new friend. And then so you joined the club, man.
I'm in the tight circle.
But actually, I spoke to
you have associate friends. It's like, hey, I know you, but you're not ever like, you know how you get. I think with friendships, they form naturally in that sense where, you know how we were saying that we can just like you can just talk to each other and then have it be natural.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not like you have a wall up. You know that like you know how when you talk to people and have like this, you're having to like constantly try and penetrate a conversation with them, and it's either you just don't get along or they don't get along with you. So
yeah,
it's
I think actually, Chris asked a question. I'm gonna say something, and then if you want to answer his question, is asking you about friends. I had many friends in the past, but now I'm actually like the older I get and the more defined my goals are, because of that, I'm slowly fading away from those who are not actually real friends, like automatically. You know what I mean? So now I have like, I'm only like, and the good thing about the podcast that I'm making, like yesterday, I don't know if you saw the one, actually today I posted it, Danny Williams, Point Pusher.
I
spoke to this guy.
I saw the preview one. Yeah.
Oh, you saw the preview.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. Like we spoke for 3 hours on the podcast and 2 hours before that and after that.
Nice.
So I think I know this guy because we think alike. It's the first time that I spoke to him, but I know him now. I know him actually. I want to be friend with this guy.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
it is cool.
Natural. That natural type of thing. Like you essentially with friendships that if I don't know if it. I guess if it requires too much work, like friendships require work, but it requires too much work and it requires a sense of, hey, let's go and catch up. And then it's like, we can't catch up. And then we like do it next week. Or then you're naturally not wanting to be friends. And it's like, that will be forced otherwise. And naturally it should just flow. And a friend is a friend, like even if you were being busy for like 3 months and you said hi, they'll say hi to you, right? Because like nothing, so like everything should be understood in the sense that we all get busy and nothing should ever be, you should never hold anything against anyone, essentially. Right? Nothing.
It's not about holding, but sometimes you have friends in your life that they're completely going a different direction, and then when you like I had friends in Dubai when I was there that I cannot be friend with them anymore because my direction is completely different. I have nothing to talk about with these guys, but we are friends, like as a like saying hi, how's it going, man, and that happens rarely because I feel like the people come and go in your life depending on where you're in your journey.
Well, it's
right?
like well, imagine. Well, don't people when they have children, they tend to have more friends with other couples that have children too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
yeah.
That's true.
I
Like,
mean,
I mean, imagine this. Like, we became friends recently,
mm,
right? Because our goals are aligned.
mm, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to talk about it here. So, but we are kind of thinking similar. Like,
yeah,
even from the first conversation we had,
yeah,
it turned into a 5 hour conversation,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's the interesting part. And
Mm,
I have a couple of friends like that. Like Arby is one of them. Like when we talk, because he's here now. So when we talk like for 3 hours,
mm,
or I have a friend that we talk together
mm,
every day, every single day. Um, and it's easy to talk because we are sharing the same knowledge, sharing the same thoughts,
mm,
sharing the same purpose for life.
mm. Well,
So
you need to make friends and talk to people and converse and learn because that's how you learn. I mean, if we didn't have
yeah,
books, right, and we never had,
yeah,
you never went through school or anything like that. The only way to learn is through talking to someone else, essentially.
yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly.
and that's what like with
That's why. Yeah, go
well,
ahead.
when I talk to Phil Saunders, I think people don't
Hmm.
realize like he's worked on all the Iron Man movies. He started off with doing industrial design, and so he really knows about how to make designs look good. And I even
Hmm.
learned a bunch of stuff from him, and I learned that I knew more than I thought, in the sense that since he's gone to school and learnt these, well, I guess not. I don't think he went to like a design school from memory. I think he might have, but since he's been around more people who have sat in design, he's actually come up with language to describe what he knows better. And this is something that I've
Hmm.
been learning to do. And you eventually, it's like translation of when you eventually, you've been doing something for years and you decide to teach, right? But that's a whole
Yes,
different thing. And it's like, well,
it is. Yeah.
how do I translate what I know into actual speech? And so this is something that I realized that it's like when you meet people and when you talk to people, that it gives you confidence, it gives you knowledge. Going back to making friends, that topic of making friends, that it's reassurance to have friends. Also,
Yeah.
like you're not like a man that doesn't talk to anyone, man or woman, goes crazy.
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
Oh, yeah. That's actually true.
Yeah,
I agree.
you can't
Like,
you can't be
I
isolating
noticed like
yourself.
every time. Yeah, I'm actually isolating myself because I'm working all the time.
Mm,
But I have conversations with people at work. I have conversations with my friend every day. Like we call like 3 4 times every
mm.
day, and
But
it's
that's
like a
not
relief.
alone.
Like as if, like
Yeah,
no, that's not
that's
alone.
not. I wouldn't
Actually, yes.
look if we were in the same room right now. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll be able to give each other a hug, but that's probably the only thing we're missing from like interaction with a human
Yeah.
being. Because that's what I was thinking the other day.
Yes.
It's like, well, that you can actually smell somebody and see them in the eyes, like all these senses. Those are
Yes.
things that you're missing from doing the digital aspect of it. But
Yeah.
I think at least we're getting auditory and visual. So like I don't think you're not really isolating yourself. So
No,
you
no, it's not
yeah.
exactly. I'm isolating myself from people that are not like-minded.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing, can you check my microphone volume? I wanted to say this because Ken earlier said that
Okay.
it's kind of low. I hear my feedback is actually
Yep.
good on my headset.
Testing.
So one,
Testing.
two, three. I hope this is better
All right.
now.
There we go.
I hear you well. You're very clear, so I
Okay.
think yours should be fine. Actually, one thing Ken asked, he is saying Ken is actually one of my colleagues from and a good friend also. He
Mm.
lives in Florida.
You can.
He's saying, have your friendships changed with people from Iran after you moved out here? So I left Iran 13 years ago, back in 2007, when I was 22 years old, right? I can tell you, like, 180-degree, I'm a different person. Like, I
Mm.
changed. I'm not the same person anymore.
You do
Everything
change.
I do is different.
Mm.
Yeah, everything I do is different. Um, I can say I would consider myself half Iranian at this point
Oh wow.
because
Yeah.
my yeah because Because I'm a person like not to degrade the I mean Iran is a beautiful country. I still love
Mm.
Iran, and I love US, and I love Earth. It's the same
Mm.
way.
Mm.
So I mean, just to answer his question, my friendships changed because everyone that I knew from the past, except those who moved here and those who like Arby, I know him from Iran. It's
Mm.
been like a long time, 15 years. I know him,
Mm.
and we are still friends. But there are many people that I don't even remember them.
Oh wow, it's gone.
So and
Yeah.
they were good friends back there, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I'm not an asshole, by the way. It's just the changes, right? I don't
Yeah.
have anything to share with them. What do I have to talk? I have more things to talk to you about
Mm.
than someone from Iran, I guess.
Yeah.
You
I,
know?
it's the fact that you're just a different person. You do change. You do
Yeah.
change. Like you can change to a completely different person. And
And I think I mean, I think it's physical because you have
mm,
to adapt. You know, part of our evolution, you have to adapt to the environment that you
mm,
live to survive,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
It's like that. It's pretty much if you're resistant to change, you won't change, right?
yeah,
And so
yes.
going back to going with the flow of things and being, I think, yeah, being in the sense that you you don't think in the past or you don't think in the future either, right? You have
No,
goals.
I'm yeah,
Yeah, you have your
yeah.
goals. Because if you think into the future, you're going to be an anxious person. But if you think into the past, you're also going to be an anxious person. So living in the
Worse
present,
actually because you know how much you messed
messed
up.
up. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, past is always worse because
mm.
you can you can see what could have been done better and you just messed it up. So it's more
Yeah,
stressful.
yeah. You almost, I think you almost relive the moments. So you have
Yeah.
to. It's so you have to, like, believe it or not, I think a lot of people don't realize how much they have to work on their mindsets. Like their mindset
Oh yeah.
is, it's like, sorry, it's number one to getting anything done. Your mindset, and so if you're sitting and you're worrying about stuff, you're going to cloud your judgment for the things you actually need to do in your life. Because I think
And
I know so with your when you're essentially wanting to get things done and you're thinking of the future and you're thinking of the past, there's no flow to the way you're thinking and assessing things currently,
yeah.
and you're all just mixed up, and it's just
And
mm,
you know, I think free societies like US, Australia, you know, UK.
mm,
I mean, we have it's not the true freedom, right? But we have way more freedom than many other countries. The real freedom actually makes you a different person, and you can see without how do I say, like a foggy mind, you know.
mm,
And I'll tell you what, and that changes you as a person. You can discover yourself better. I can live with this culture more than I can live with my own culture back in Iran.
wow,
You
yeah,
know why? Yeah, because I'm a person that I actually like capitalism,
mm,
and I like the way, like I like to work, I like to advance, I like to have opportunities to move forward.
mm,
You know, I don't like certain things about corporations and things like that. But I mean, that's part of it, and it's evolving. I
mm,
cannot change it. But I know, like back in my country, back in Iran, because the way that the government works, and the freedom, you don't have any freedom there, right?
I imagine you don't.
So
Yeah,
that actually makes you only worry about the things that are basic. Do you know about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
mm, yeah, yeah, too.
So that's like the base is like you need to have food, shelter, all the basic stuff that you need to protect yourself and to stay alive.
Mm,
And then after that is like family, love, and things like that. And then the more you go up on the pyramid, on the top is like self discovery and actually real enlightenment to find out what you are
mm,
supposed to do.
yeah,
So I mean, I feel like people like Elon Musk are on that level,
mm,
and that actually could be hard, but it's fun, you know, like you know your value and you know what you want to do. So
mm,
that's why for me it's like I cannot live in Iran anymore
mm,
because my mindset has changed completely. My values
mm,
have shifted. So it's hard for me to be friend with someone who lives in that culture, I can respect them, I can help them. But if they don't share the same value as me, if they constantly try to nag about a bad situation, or talk negatively and things like that, that actually stresses me out.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
And the only thing I want, like we talked a lot, like for the past 2 weeks. I mean, as you heard me, like you're the same actually. We constantly talk about how can we improve and do this and do that. How can we make a better future? How do they make business? How can we grow the YouTube channel, podcast, this, that, right? Improve our design, improve our work. How can we teach better? These are the things that are actually not, how do I say it? I mean, people cannot think about back in Iran because they don't have freedom. So they're stuck on the lowest level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the Maslow's pyramid.
Yeah.
They have to find a way, because they're constantly worried. If I do this, I'm going to go to jail. If I check this website, I'm going to go to jail. If I say anything against the leader, I'm going to go to jail. So they have to worry about that. For me, it's not that. For me, it's like I bought my house. I don't have any payments. I don't have anything to worry about. So the only thing I worry about is like I want to improve my work, right? And I want to find good friends that are actually thinking positively and trying to improve, so I can give them some value and they can give me some value, right? So it's very hard for me to become friend with someone who is constantly like, I can help, like when someone is like coming to me and is like, oh, I'm stuck in this country, situation is like this, like that, I can give advice and help and say, hey, I was there as well, I had to deal with all these kind of things. This is how I got rid of it. Maybe you can do the same thing and it could work for you as well. Maybe you have to change something from what I did and find your own way to survive and to get to the next level. But yeah, I mean, my values have changed completely, and I think freedom and not worrying about the basic stuff is the thing that actually pushing me forward.
Yeah.
So and when I actually do, yeah, go ahead.
Well, sometimes that can fuel people also to get out of the situation that they're in. So that motivation to pull themselves out, that can also be a thing. But it's when you are the most creative, you are the most relaxed, or you've allowed time for yourself, or you've really sat down and I'm going to relax for 3 hours of the day and really negotiate. Like there's always going to be stuff to worry about, and you can't do anything about a lot of the things.
Yeah,
most things are going to happen, and the thing is, the stuff that's going to happen that you're going to worry about, you won't see coming. So why worry?
Yeah.
Right? You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be like, give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you don't have to worry about like the basic stuff, your friendships and your relationship becomes more pure and more realistic. Like if you don't need a friend because your friend is a specific person, or because your friend is, it's good to help, right? And I'm open to always have friends and help them and get help and everything, like all that, because that's what the real friendship is, right? Friendship is about helping each other and growing together. But I think when you don't really need someone and you become friend, that becomes a real, like a good friendship. And when you share the same values, you come from the same culture. When I say same culture, I don't mean like, because your culture changes. I changed. People might say, oh, this guy's talking crap, but I mean, that's the reality. I know I changed.
You can change.
When I talk to my parents,
yeah,
they tell me, actually, you're different now, because I saw my parents like 12 years ago last time. And when I talk to them, I have a good conversation and everything and all that, but they actually say, even my sister was telling me, like, you're changed. You're not the same person.
Yeah.
So
we change. We constantly change. I mean, doing the sense of when you meet somebody and they say you've changed, that's a good thing. Usually.
Yeah.
If it's not a good thing, I mean, like say you've turned, I don't know, you've changed for the worst. I don't know, you've become an alcoholic or something. That would be bad.
No. I mean, positive change, right? Not a crappy change.
Yeah.
Like Chris saying, actually, he says, Chris says, agreed, Mike. Drawing, painting, sculpting is when I'm most relaxed. I think there's a delay, always. Like when we talk, they hear it after like a minute or something.
There would be a delay. But yeah.
But where's that noise? There's a noise coming to the.
I have a heater on. Like
oh, it's gone. It's
Yeah.
gone.
Okay. You get
And
paranoid
then
about
Ken is
these
saying,
things.
yeah. Ken is saying for me, it's when I'm able to put the job aside and play games or hang with the wife and not have to worry about anything. A job, even if you love it, can and will become stressful. I mean, it depends, right?
Well, if you look at your job and
Um,
just if you have a job, right? Let's say
yeah,
someone hires you to do something or you go somewhere. Just go in, do the hours, do what you need to be done, and realize that. So like if you had someone that goes, I need this done at this time, do it now. You know what you do? You do what is right and you do it in the desired work time where they pay you, and you don't care
yeah.
about anything else. Because I, sometimes when people push, so people push, there was a saying that um, when people want things urgently, it's not as urgent
Hmm.
as you think it is, right? And it can
Yeah,
always be, it can always be stretched out. So when someone gives you a deadline for something, usually the deadline is not as like boom there. You
yeah,
can usually stretch it out a little bit, and I think that doesn't mean you should be like being relaxed by it. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't just like. There's no point in killing yourself to get something done. Like killing yourself. Work hard, but don't kill yourself. That's like the definition of killing yourself is affecting your health and shortening your lifespan. And then
yeah.
that turns into stress because your body's telling
I
you
agree.
something. Yeah, your body's like, "Hey, I'm stressed. You're
Because
killing me here." You know?
at the end of the day, Ken is saying a job, right? So a
Mm,
job is
yeah.
always a job. That's why when people tell me like, I want to work for this studio,
Mm,
I want to get your workshop to get, or your
mm,
mentorship to learn how to do this and find a job at Blizzard or
yeah.
Sony or whatever studio. I always tell them if that's your goal, I cannot teach you anything. Because I mean, think about it. Like if you want a job is a job. It's a temporary satisfaction.
Mm,
You don't get
mm,
anything out of it. You make some money, you learn some stuff, and then
yeah.
it's gonna become boring. It's just like buying a car, right?
Mm,
You buy a car, you enjoy it for 2 months. After that, it's just a car.
mm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Well,
I think
that's
it's the same. Yeah, go ahead.
what isn't that like? I've been learning about Taoism. So I know you like you've got your like Tesla and all that, and like with
Yeah,
me, I'm in the mindset that I don't want to be any type of materialistic personality type because I just want to be comfortable in life and do the things I
yeah,
want, and so but have my goals. Like I want to be financially successful, but
yes,
I
yes, me
don't
too.
want to care about materialism at all because
I agree.
it's like eating that tasty bit of food. You'll always be let down later by it. So like
Yeah, yeah,
everything has that up and down effect. And so if
yeah.
you know
I
that
mean, the main reason.
well, if you go up, you have to come down, no matter what. If you went
Yeah.
up,
Well,
if you got
depends,
a
right? You
Ferrari
can always like
tomorrow,
grow.
if you got a Ferrari
Oh,
tomorrow,
yes, yes. I know
you'd
exactly
have
what you
to
mean.
get the Ferrari and get something better than the Ferrari. You get a
Yes,
Bugatti,
yes.
which will be like, and then you got to get something
Because yeah.
better than the Bugatti. So like,
There's actually a
you have to
Persian
come
guy. He
down
lives
from
in
somewhere.
LA.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a Persian guy. He lives in LA, and he has the most expensive cars ever.
yeah,
Like he's insane. I think he has like $50 million worth of cars.
yeah. It's insane
And I'm like, he has 5 Bugattis. Why do you need 5 Bugattis?
because he has to keep going
It's
up.
just.
It's he has to.
But here's the thing. The reason I bought a Tesla is because I don't have to go to a gas station. I can support something good for humanity.
Yeah.
I don't have to always like, you know, hit myself that I'm adding to the climate change. I don't have
Mm.
to, worry about someone take stealing my car. Like thieves cannot do anything with Tesla.
All right.
You know,
So
if they try to take it, I can lock the door with my phone until the cops arrive. So
it's the justification for the purchase of
it's
yeah,
actually very practical.
yeah,
There's a difference between
yeah,
a Tesla because it's practical and it has everything and more than a Mercedes.
yeah. That's
Why do
true.
I need a Mercedes? Like it's an old technology.
Yeah. But
Burn gas and
well,
destroyed Earth. What the hell?
yeah, that was making me think like more and more that you look around, and you made me aware of that. Like looking at like cars, like the petrol
Yeah,
cars, and you're thinking this is you know, the definition is like, this is now stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is, it's now stupid. And I remember I was going for a walk the other day, and there was like an electric car behind me, and I was like, something sounds really futuristic, and it's just like a car going. And I remember watching what's that movie called, Demolition Man, and they had all the sound effects for electric cars, and it sounded just like that. And I was like, hey, that sounds just like in the movie, like a science fiction movie. And like you have that, it has that winding of the motor, and like that's all you hear. So, but yeah, like I don't know.
Ken is saying something good actually. That's very interesting. He says, as Siamak said before, he has a house. He doesn't have to worry about stuff like that, and that gives him freedom to follow his passion. So that's a good point, because financially, I'm in the best situation I have ever been in my life, and I'm growing now. I know that from here I'm gonna grow to my goal. I have a crazy goal. When I say it to anyone, they will laugh at me, but I don't. It's not because I want to be rich, super rich. It's because I'm curious and I want to achieve things that are considered impossible to people. Because I'm coming from a humble background. I come from Iran. I didn't have freedom most of my life, and now I have freedom, and now I see this opportunity. I know it. I have to harvest it, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I want to say is, like, certain material things actually gives you a specific type of safety and satisfaction and security. So when you have that, then whatever you do is because you're truly passionate about it, and you want to do it. Right now, I'm making a podcast or teaching people. It's not because I don't make any money from that podcast, right? But I know I'm going to grow it to millions of followers. That's my goal. And I'm going to expand beyond CG, like this one, like we are doing together.
Well, that's why I said, right? we could talk about anything. Like, we don't have to talk about art.
No, exactly. I mean, art is part of life. Everything is art, right? I mean, the way that we are presenting this video, or I put the light here because I'm an artist, I enjoy like seeing beautiful colors, or the design of the microphone you have. This is all art, right? But the thing is, like, I mean, that's part of it. But yeah, I was going back to my point. If you have a certain material things, necessary stuff, that actually boosts your energy, gives you security to go to the next level, and eventually you will be able to help people.
I get what you mean. Yeah, I understand what you mean by when you do buy certain materialistic things, they do motivate you to keep going. But you can't, when you do buy a materialistic thing, you can't look at it like being excited. If you're excited for it, it's because you've gone. So like when you go through the emotion of being high, you will come down. Like no matter what, because
it's dopamine. You will come down 100%.
Change your brain chemistry, and this is why I think with monks they really remain constant and present and not go up or down too much, because they know anything that goes up comes down, and anything down has to go up. So that's why, like, you're having being observant of your thoughts is really important. So it's when you're that's why I talk about the nofap stuff, because you're acting on a feeling, and when you act on the feeling, you could be addicted to the feeling too, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can let those emotions pass, and what they just wash over you, and you're better off letting things pass, because you keep more balanced. You're more balanced emotionally, and so it's like when something pisses you off, if you go towards the anger and you express it and not let it pass over you, that's when people live in anger, or people live in sadness. When they take in sadness and then they tell their head, oh, I'm depressed, and they say these things, oh, this sucks, that is, they sit in that depression, and they allow their brains to sit in it longer than they should. So because you should be observant, that's what they say, be observant of the emotions and separate yourself from that, because you're not your thoughts, and you just let it wash over you. You imagine it just, it's water off your back, as that would say. I think that's the saying, right? So that's the best way to be with everything, water off your back.
Yeah, actually, Chris says, Chris and Ken, both of them are saying a good point. Ken says some people work for $7 an hour just to have the freedom to learn 3D art in their free time for an hour or two. And then Chris says, very true. Such, I certainly feel blessed or privileged, lucky maybe, to be in my role. I'm sure Siamak and Mike do as well. The thing is, I agree with that. But here's the thing. Um, I remember back in Iran when I was trying to buy a computer, the way that I had to make money was I had to burn discs. Like people in the area that we lived, I was the only one with the DVD writer,
I
and
remember doing that.
my friends were coming to my house paying me like $1, not even $1.
Oh,
That's like a
really?
lot of money. Yeah,
I did
to burn
$10.
discs, right? Huh?
I did $10. $10. Inflation here.
No, yes. But here's the thing: I had to work my ass off to make some money, right? To learn how to make money to support myself. So now I'm in a good situation that I make good money, right? But it was never like this. It wasn't always like this. Sorry, it wasn't always like this. I had to I had to go through the same thing, and I think pain is not necessarily bad. Going through that, like if I change my life, I don't want to be a rich person. To be honest with you, I want to get rich myself.
Yeah.
So I said that because when I was younger, I was like blaming my dad for not giving me money to go to universities or school or supporting me when I had a when I was in a bad situation. One of them was like when I lived in Dubai, like I was there for a couple of years and then I lost my job back in 2008 because of the financial crisis. And I was married, I just got married at the time. And imagine like I lost my job and I had to go back to Iran. And
God,
it was
yeah.
like a nightmare. Like I worked so hard to build my life. And I was like at a point that uh, I'm about to go back and basically just destroy my life. So um, so I had to go through all of that. My dad didn't support me at the time. I called him. He was like, "Oh, we don't have money. We cannot help." Right? And I was on debt. I bought a car at the time. I was stupid. At
Yeah.
the age of 23, I bought a Lexus, my first
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
So I had to basically what I had to do was I had to find a way to survive, and the pressure on me was so intense that one night I said, I'm gonna die or go through this. I'm not gonna go back.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go back. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna survive, and I'm gonna push forward. If I go back, I'm losing everything I built. And
Yeah.
it was the beginning of my journey, right? So I found a way and eventually survived. And now I'm actually looking back at it, and I feel like everything happened at that time. I'm actually harvesting the fruit of it now. The knowledge that I learned, the experience and everything, that no one helped me. You know what I told you the other day? I said, if you want to survive, you need to learn how to become a wolf instead of a dog. You need to learn how to survive in the forest, in the jungle without any support, right? If they throw us in the jungle, can we survive or not? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I will survive. I will eat grass to survive.
And you eventually find some proper food.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the thing. But if you give up easily, like I agree, like people work for $7 an hour to do 3D, but maybe that's what they have to go through to understand the value of their time and their money, to understand how hard it is to survive. It's not easy, especially in this market. It's a very hard. Like you go on Instagram or artist session, there are tons of good artists, right? How can you like separate yourself from these to survive in a market like this, right? So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Everyone, I always say, like I told you the other day, our life is like a line. We live on a line. We start here, we end here. One of the end is actually death, so that happens to everyone. The other end is unlimited, like there's no end to it. That's actually our achievements, like how far we can achieve things in life.
Yeah.
So it's you as a person who chooses like where you want to stop. Like if that person is making $7 an hour and he has 2 hours to work to learn CG, he has to go through that. It's hard. I mean, I had to do it. I had to do the same thing and even worse than that. Okay, actually, when I was in Dubai, I had to sleep in the street for 10 days. I was homeless. I slept on the seashore basically.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was hot. And then one night I was looking at the sky, and I told myself, why am I bothering myself? This is amazing. Like I hear the sea, right? The waves. It was calm, and I look at the sky. It's clean, beautiful sky. Like I see the stars. It was very calm, right? And then when I acknowledge that I'm upset because of the material things that I don't have. I don't have a place to sleep in, right? That was upsetting me. But in reality, I had a place, Earth, right? I was sleeping on the sand. It was amazing. People kill themselves to take a vacation, go to like Dubai to sleep
Yeah.
on the sand. So
And that's where you
it's just a
were.
mindset. I shift. Yeah, I was that. That's where I was. I shifted my mindset. So that's the life, right? You make $7 first. You go through that, then you make $15. You can decide to stop or move on. For some people it takes years to move on because of the difficulties they face. But I think the end is the same. I can compare it to this. Um, Mark Zuckerberg became a billionaire at a very young age, right? He's the same age as us, but he's like he has 60 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett is 88. He has 80 billion or something like that. Both of them are super rich. Both of them accomplished a lot, right? The thing is, or Jeff Bezos, right? So I think Warren Buffett became a billionaire at age 50, right? He could give up and stop doing what he was doing and just enjoy like his hundreds of billions of millions of dollars instead of becoming a billionaire and experiencing new thing. So, but he did it. He decided to move towards the unlimited goal, basically end of that line. You know what I mean? So if you decide to stop at $20 an hour, that's what you get. But you can decide to go forward, no matter how hard it is. And I'll find that oftentimes the hardship, the pressure is actually what pushes you to discover new abilities that you couldn't think of having them. I don't know how to
Yeah.
express it. Like under pressure, you do things that you will be surprised. That this
Yeah.
is weird. I can do this.
It's like a diamond. Yeah.
Yes,
Being
exactly.
under
Oh,
pressure.
that's the best example.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Something will come out of it. Even it feels like so. I'm not sure if you like listen to like Jordan Peterson a lot, but like I was listening to him. I always just re-listen to it. Like I always listen to things again and again to refreshen my mindset. Like because you believe it or not, so when it's like you have to read books or you have to just listen to something twice to get the message because you're essentially every day you wake up you're a different person, and in that sense if you're a different person every day you're on a different conscious level every day. So things that you didn't hear before you will hear maybe the next day. And believe it or not, even when you've been talking to me about certain parts of your life, I'm still at a certain level of consciousness where I still can't absorb everything all the time because I haven't really been present enough to think about it again and again. It's like the thing of things. It's like things don't sink in easily because we're a multitude of habits, and we have very short attention spans. Like people have very short attention spans, and so
I mean, you can actually change that. We have it, but we can change it. You can actually look at things or
increase it. You say
increase the attention span. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, try it. Like sometimes you're listening to someone, you lose your attention span, right? You just get distracted because you hear something and you forget what this person is saying. But if you remind yourself that this is what's happening, then you can get back to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, I'm learning that because of playing music. Music needs a really high concentration skill. You need to really, really focus. Like you need to focus, like because you have to hear, you have to play different fingers, you have to play separate hands, you have to use your feet, you have to listen to every tone that you play. It's not an easy thing. Playing piano is super hard.
Yeah,
requires a lot of practice. It's a lifetime skill that you have to master, right?
Yeah.
So that actually helps you to increase your attention span.
Yeah.
Let me actually answer one thing just to that, if you don't mind. Ken is asking, Siamak, do you think growing up in Iran has fueled your success here? Do you think if you were born and raised in this culture, you would have achieved the same? I actually think if I was raised here, I wouldn't achieve the same.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing: the thirst So I have experienced the worst. Not exactly the worst, right? People in Iraq and Afghanistan and Egypt and other countries that go through revolution and war and things like that. It happened in Iran as well. Like when I was 2 years old, I remember like we were hearing sirens. My parents were taking me down to me and my brother and sister to just protect us from a possible bomb dropping on our house or something, right? We went through all of that, right? So and I constantly in my life, like in Iran, like it's very hard to find a girlfriend, for example. Now it's not. At the time when I was there, it was because of the culture, because of the government was very tight on these things. You know, it's very like it's kind of really messed up. Everyone knows about it, right? I didn't have access to internet the way you had it because you live in Australia, or the way Ken had it because he lived in the US from the beginning, right? So the things that I wanted at the time, it didn't exist. I had to learn CG by reading like the text documents of like on Max or Maya. Imagine that, like you go through the help document, read everything. So
you could, well, you could. I mean, you could. It's probably the best way to learn something, to be honest.
It could, yes, it could be, right? It helped me to learn English from nothing, right? So there are certain things that it's actually good when you're under pressure, as I said, and Chris agreed with that as well. So I think that pressure made me to think that, first of all, it makes you humble, right? I know I have experienced the worst. The worst thing that I can experience from now is if I go through a war, worse than the situation that I had in Iran. If I go through a war, then this will be worse than that, which is scary to me, right? Even going back to Iran is scary to me. So having what I have here, the freedom, the opportunities, it's much more valuable than anyone can imagine to me. So I can clearly say that when someone is born in America and raised here, they don't understand the value of the things they have here. They absolutely don't understand it.
You have to be strict.
Which is I want to kill myself. Like when I see people complaining, I'm like, dude, this is the richest country in the world. You have access to everything. You're born with an iPhone. I had to eat grass in Iran to push myself, pull myself out of the crap, you know? So because of experiencing that, it's actually, for me, I understand the value of this, right? And I try to take advantage of it. I try to use it for better. That's why I work every day. This is work. We are like, what time is it here now? 11:34. I don't have weekends. Like
who needs
I fix my backyard.
Who needs weekends? Who needs them?
I don't need weekends. It's stupid to have weekends, really.
It is.
Honestly.
Yeah.
For me, it's stupid. At least because if I'm 35 now. If I don't do what I do now, when I turn 45, I'm gonna regret every moment.
Yeah. You will.
So,
I mean,
that thought is actually very scary to me.
Having regret.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's the scariest thing that I don't want to face it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm willing to sacrifice my sleep, maybe some health, because I sleep less. I reduce my life, like instead of living 8 years on average, I'll live 75. But I want to do what I want.
Don't put it. You're putting a limiter on yourself. Don't do that. You should. I'll send you. Actually, someone sent it to me just today on Facebook. But they.
Florida's 234.
They said
Ken is listening to us.
Wow.
Yeah, go ahead.
They sent me. I've listened to the podcast on Joe Rogan. A guy talks about sleep, and you should be sleeping, like sleep.
No, I agree.
Don't like you really. So like now I've been waking up earlier and earlier because I want to force myself to get up at a more of an awkward time where I feel more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I pretty much go. So I wake up at 5 a.m. today, pretty much when it's dark. And I kind of I went back to bed a little bit, but when I went back to bed for like 10 minutes, I was like, you don't need to get back to bed. It's like, because I thought, it's still dark. I can't see nothing. Like, you should still be sleeping. But that was my brain.
Well, you won't have that problem here. In Washington, in summer is like, it's the light comes out at 4:30 a.m.
Oh, really? So that's what I was saying to you. I was like, I'm a night person and a morning person. So I have to I
am the same.
yeah, the crack of dawn. I'm like, oh, I'll get up, and then and then I was like, last night, I was like, well, I'll go to bed at 12. So what I do, I pretty much finish up at like 11:30, and then I'll go to bed at. So I'll sit down and just like I'll watch a little bit of a TV show, just to unwind my brain, because I don't like going straight to bed from doing work. I just want to have a little spoil of like, hey, just look at something that's not on the damn computer. So either
I mean, I agree.
Or I'll meditate just before bed. Something that I'm not looking directly at it at the like really close. I can deal with light and it doesn't wake me up from afar, but something to break that. But waking up early is, I don't know, there's something to it because no one else is up also, and is it feels like
that's actually the good thing.
It's a good
thing.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things actually I noticed, like I actually get really creative sometimes at after 11. After 11 p.m.
11
so
p.m.
sometimes I have to work longer. Because I get that chance once in a while, like not exactly once in a while. I get creative like at night sometimes, like twice, 3 times a week. So I try to use that, right? And then I also wake up early because my wife goes to work early, and I have to like wake up, go to the first meeting we have, and then I start the work I do. I practice my piano, eat some breakfast. So the routine, I have to keep it as much. It's very hard actually. It's very hard to keep it.
Yeah, it is hard to keep routines when you got a lot to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when I go back to what I said, when I think about Iran, that the situation that I had to go through, this is actually easier for me. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, going back to this, the book Viktor Frankl wrote, "Man's Search for Meaning." He was a psychologist. He died, I think, back in '90s. Let me actually see what Ken is saying. Yeah, the guys are talking. So he wrote a book about his experience, basically his because he was he was a Jew psychologist who was captured by Germans, right? And he was in Auschwitz camp, right? He survived that camp, and then he actually shared his experience in the book, which is amazing. When you read it, it gives you a different perspective, and you will appreciate what you have more. So actually the pain that he had to go through is the worst a person can experience. Really, the worst.
I'll have to have a. I mean, get the book.
You should get it. Yeah, and I recommend to everyone to read this book. If you read one book, this is the book that you should read.
Yeah. Wow.
Because if someone can survive that pain, then we don't have a pain. Like $7 an hour is actually heaven. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me, it's also like, when I think about, maybe you can share it on the screen so people can see it.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
For me, it's also like when I think about my life back in Iran, I don't want to go back there, man. I don't want to think about that experience. I want to grow. I want to bring value to the society. I want to bring value to humanity. You know, it's more than my country. It's more than my culture. It's about survival. It's about like pushing life to the next level. You know, someone like Elon Musk is actually doing the best he can do, and that's why I admire and appreciate this guy. And I bought a Tesla because I want to give my hard-earned money to something that can actually change something for humanity. You know, he actually said in like a couple of, I think a month ago, he said that he's selling his houses and everything. He's trying to get rid of all of his belongings to just focus on his work.
Yeah,
mission to Mars.
Focus. I mean, the type of, it's the, when you, it's kind of, you're enjoying life too much to be focused. Yeah, essentially. You have to think about this house and think about what I want to put in the house, and I want to feel good. And the thing is, well, if you ever sit down and you have to go through and arrange a house and make it look good, it takes a lot of thought. And so your attention will be divided from the other stuff that you really want to achieve. So if that's not, like, Elon Musk is not an interior decorator. He's not thinking about, or he's, like, okay, that's a bad example, but he's not thinking about in terms of I want to have this thing to feel complete, because I think he knows he's gone through it, and he knows that. I remember he was doing the PayPal thing when he first became famous, and he was, I think he's with his ex-wife, and he's like, I got this new car, right? And you can see him, he's like really happy and going through those emotions. And I think eventually, if you think about all the stuff that he's achieved, I mean, you get more enjoyment from the achievements. And I think he would have realized that. Buying that car, you know, when you finish something, so when you really finish something, you do a good job at it, you feel more happy than any materialistic thing, like even more happy than having sex or having any type of thing in life. You feel more happy from that achievement. And the thing is, it actually lasts longer. Like the happiness that you get lasts longer. Like if you look at other quick fixes of happiness, they're done. They're always like that. Buying something, sex, done. It's always done really quick. Yeah. And when you achieve your goals, there's a enlightened feeling, a glow, like a growing feeling within you when you achieve a goal. And especially if you're working on something.
I agree 100%. Yeah. Are you done or you're?
Yeah.
I think I cut you. What I discovered recently is I think because of the nature of life, the evolution that we go through, life is constantly trying to find a way to survive and to optimize and increase the lifespan and find ways to actually survive, right? Like humans are the only species that are living on Earth in billions, right? There were like, I was reading an article, there was like 110 billion people on Earth, right? So we try to find ways to help each other. A doctor, right, is trying to find ways to do surgeries to survive, to save a person's life, right? Or a policeman is trying to do things to keep the society calm so we can extend the life. So that scientists, on the other hand, can actually work and discover ways to maybe bring what do you call it, like basically I forgot the word, like help us to live forever, you know, so looking at that, I actually feel like, you know, materials are good, or achieving stuff, working on a game, shipping a game, becoming a famous person, or all of that is good. But the biggest satisfaction you can get from life is when you become more useful and help others to grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what Elon Musk is doing, or what Jeff Bezos is doing, or what Bill Gates is doing. Imagine this, like Jeff Bezos, the way a lot of people actually hate him, but I always say that he made Amazon, he's changing lives. You know, right? He's making lives easier for others. So for me as a person, I don't have to go to buy a grocery. So I can just order it online and I can focus on what I want to do. So this is like the way that life is finding ways to optimize things, right? So the only way to do it is like to help each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and for me, it's like I can do it on a smaller scale, much smaller than these people. Like Bill Gates, he spent half of his money. I mean, people call him an asshole these days because of the situation. I don't know how it relates to that. It's just funny to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to get into politics.
Yeah.
Whatever they want to think, they can think.
Yeah.
But I figured, like, for me also as a person, like when I teach people, if I can help them, that's where I feel like I'm doing something useful. And that's why, like, when I do mentorships, I actually I don't finish it like on the spot. Like if I feel like, usually my classes are done when people are tired and they're like, oh, okay, Siamak, is it okay if I leave now? You know,
yeah.
a couple of people leave and then I'm like, maybe we should stop and do it next week so they're in the class as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I want to charge hourly, I can make money, more money. But the real satisfaction, which is helping and seeing someone is getting happy, that's something you cannot buy with money.
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing when I'm doing the one-on-one mentorships, that I'm realizing, like, you sit down with people and especially you start talking to them, and you really digest things and realize that people really don't think the way you think, right? And you have to teach them.
Yes.
And
Yes.
So it's very humbling in a way that you can help them think in a way that it will help them once they're done. It's like, boom, you've changed their perspective on how they look at things, and then that
Oh,
is like
dude,
octane.
that's so
Yeah,
satisfying. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
When you help someone to see the reality, you know.
And then you see
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
them, and they update you with work, and you're like, geez, I wouldn't even have done that. Like they're doing things
Yeah.
better than me.
Exactly. Yes. I actually
And
had this in one
you
of my
get a little bit
classes.
jealous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. There's a jealousy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good way, obviously,
It's a
not in a
good way. It's
negative
like,
way.
hey, could you maybe show me how you did that thing? Like, because it's like they've
Yes.
they've taken your technique and like twisted it, and it's just like,
Expanded that.
yeah, and it's like,
Yes.
oh, that's cool.
This
That's
is
really cool.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hold on a
So
second. My friend is calling.
that gets you excited. That's the
Yeah,
excitement.
this is
about it.
exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about when I say life is actually finding ways to optimize. When you teach someone, your knowledge, that person is going to find a way to do it better if they're passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me actually send a link on this link to my friend to check it out. So just to add to what you said, in one of my classes, I was teaching like anatomy, the basics, proportions, anatomy, and muscles, and name of the muscles, and things like that. One of the guys asked me, he wants to move to cloth and things like that. I said, I can move to cloth, but if like to show you how to do cloth in Marvelous Designer and ZBrush, but if you learn this, then you're going to make your job easier because Marvelous is going to take me a couple of classes to teach you. Anatomy is something that it's going to take years.
Yeah.
So if I can teach you something now to push you to the next level in 4 or 5 classes, I would rather do this because you will see better. And then one of the classes, I took his work. I said, okay, let's focus on yours for this class. I take like two of the students, I take their work and focus on it and try to improve it. So this one, I showed him what to do and everything. I sculpted on his work and everything is live, right? And we discover how we do it, and I try to teach them how to learn. This is actually important. It's important to learn how to learn. This is a specific skill to master. So I try to teach them that, and then this guy actually, and I record the class, right, and send them the class after like a couple of days later, so they don't cheat. They don't cheat, and they just watch the video later. So this guy, I gave him the video. He didn't watch the video. He said, I want to push myself. And he showed me his progress. It was 180-degree like changed. I was like, dude, this is amazing. I was surprised when he showed me the sculpt. That was the moment I said he was coming with a nice silhouette, really nice muscles. Like he wasn't going into details, just the overall package was more interesting. And for me I was like, shit, this is actually interesting.
Yeah.
This is different than what I do. This is different than what I did in the class.
Yeah. They built up on it.
I was like, yeah, he built it again from scratch, and he was building it with his own style. This is actually what I teach people. I'm like, I'm giving you my way, but you need to find your own voice. You shouldn't follow what I do. You should discover how you should do it yourself,
And the thing is, eventually you end up learning from the ones you teach also. It's
dude, a lot.
What's that? What is that saying? Isn't that like the mentor becomes the student again in that way, because you never stop learning.
Oh yeah, yes.
You can never stop learning.
That's true.
Essentially, because at one point you will have to become the student again. So it's and then you have to. You always what is it? I have all these quotes. I have quotes like written down. Like you never. Essentially, you can never learn enough of anything in life. Like never learn enough of anything.
You can never have enough of anything.
You can never learn enough. That's
I agree.
Essentially, you're always. If you ever think if you ever think you've stopped learning something, that's when you pretty much stop growing and you die off. Like you should always be. Well, I could be wrong. You could always be wrong. I think that's humbling.
And you will actually be wrong because you're right in that moment with the current knowledge, right? But years from now, everything could change, and we will be wrong.
So, people, I mean, the whole science thing could be wrong. It could be like, hey, you could live forever if you did X, Y, Z, and we're like, what? If you just did these things, you'd live forever. If you had like a good mindset or you believed it enough, like who knows? Like, and you ate this this certain food, like.
Yes.
Exactly. I always thought that the only, like, in a way, like, imagine if we lived in a world that we had no concept, like, if we were able to get through life and have no one in our ear telling you about death, that maybe like this would be like a funny movie, that you would never die because you just be stupid enough to think that you could go on and you don't get old, and like it's only your perception that makes you get
you're gonna waste your life that way.
Makes you get older, die. No, I'm just saying, like, if this was like something that was like in a movie, if it was a thing, like I was just, because I was trying to think of like creative ways to come up with different ideas, because you know how they say everything's like a perception based thing. You can see things differently too. So when your mindset influences how you see the world. And I was just like thinking, well, how crazy is our mindset? Like, is it that crazy to the point that if we never had influence by anyone else, that we could achieve some crazy stuff? Like, it's fascinating to think about. But I know, well, you don't know. Like, you don't know for certain if that's a possibility. But we know for certain what we will do. It's currently we're getting older, and at some point, we might die. But the thing is, that might change. You know, how have you I can't remember the guy's name, but he's looking into making us live forever, essentially. And
I wish I could, live forever.
You wish you could live forever?
Achieve all my dreams.
Just start believing it. Start believing it. Guess what? Just believe it. Just
yeah.
Because I mean, they say that people who are very negative and they kind of look at the clock of themselves aging, I think they tend to age even worse.
I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. So I think there is perception based, but we can't control everything. Of course, that's Looney Tune stuff. But there is definitely a perception, because I think if you're sitting there and you're worrying about getting older, you're causing yourself an anxiety. And anxiety, we all know anxiety ages you. So
yes,
it does.
Anxiety ages you.
It's toxic.
I actually feel like I'm actually happier since I live day by day. I have my goals. Like 10 years from now, I'm not stressed anymore to achieve my goal tomorrow, because I set a 10-year goal, 10-year plan. So that actually reduces my stress. I'm a much happier person now than I was like last year, even just last year.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing is, you're older. So you're getting older as well.
Yes, I am older. I'm wiser, and I'm trying to use the experience that I had from the past. Yeah. Yes, I'm getting happier. Exactly.
They say older people get more miserable, but it's not true.
Yeah,
it's not true.
No. It's actually, I think I told you the other day. Like I was reading somewhere that every 33 years something happens in our galaxy, or I don't know the exact thing that I read. This is like a couple of months ago. I read it. Every 33 years, right? So if you're born today, every 33 years, something happens and you become like a fresh start. And every 7 years, every 7 years we change. Our body actually changes all the cells in our body. So from the age 0 to 7, you're one person. After that, you change. And if you look at it from the age there's a shift when you're 7 years old. There's a shift when you're 13, 14. There's a shift when you're 21. There's a shift when you're 28, and then 30 something. So I was actually talking to my friend. I don't know if he's here. Ehsan, he was here. If he's here, I don't know if he's watching. We talk about these kind of things every day, and I feel like when I turned 33, I told you the other day about it as well, right? There was a shift in my mindset. Like I felt like my goals changed, and I was looking at everything in a different way, right? And that pushed me to make decisions to change my life. And I'm changing it, and I see that the effect is happening now. I'm slowly getting to, it's like an engine starting, right? And then they say, like, when you, if you say every 30 years that happens, 33 years, imagine, like, I feel right now, I feel like I'm young and I'm starting again. I feel like I'm born again.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of energy. It's insane. I don't know how I'm doing it anymore. Someone was asking me, do you get burned out? I said no, I don't know.
Do you have caffeine?
I don't know what.
Do you
I
have
just
caffeine?
drink tea.
Just drink tea?
Just
No
yeah.
coffee?
No, I don't like coffee.
Oh.
Sometimes, but that's like once in a
So
year, right?
you don't work out though, do you? At the moment.
My workout is like you saw. Like I was cutting the grass with without the. I bought a grass cutting a lawnmower that doesn't have an engine, so I have to push it myself, and it's a lot of workout. So it's a huge cardio, and we have a big backyard, so I have to cut everything. It's a lot of cardio. So, and I was sweating. I told you I'm dying.
That's like old school, yeah, old school lawnmower.
Yeah, it is workout. So that because I don't go to gym. I used to go, but I need to do it again. So I wanted to say this. I wanted to say when you I believe when you turn 60, your life actually shifts and you enjoy your life more.
Yeah.
I don't think becoming old is a bad thing. Like I used to think it's bad, but I think I actually read something and they say like when people turn 60, 65, they're happier than they have ever been in their lives.
They let go of all the vanity to getting older, perhaps holding on to things. I mean, you should still respect yourself in the sense that you don't let go of being fit, and like this is why I won't sacrifice my health for work. I'm not gonna kill myself for the sake of getting a job done. If I'm doing that, it's because I've been disorganized, haven't been organized with my day. So and I think, or you're really just taking on too many things, and it will bite you in the ass, and you will feel it. Like everything goes up and then comes down. So, and you only have one life to live. Well, from what we know right now, we can only assume we have one life we live. So
actually, that's interesting. Let me actually say something, and then I'll come back to this. Ken said this. He's saying a person who asks a question is a fool for 1 minute. A person who never asks a question is a fool for their lifetime. This is actually 100% true. I just wanted to agree with him on that. Because I remember like when I was a kid, I was very curious. I was asking a lot of questions about everything. You know, when you're a child, everything is new to you.
Yeah.
Right. When you're born, you see like teapot. You're like, what is this? You see a TV. What is this? You see a table. What is this? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go out. You touch the doorknob. What is this? And then you go outside. What is this? What is that? What's going on? So I was that kind of kid.
Everything's so new.
I was answering. Yeah. My mom was always answering my questions. My dad was always like, "You shouldn't answer him. You know, he's getting too curious."
Yeah.
So he was wrong about that. He shouldn't have done that because that's how you learn, right? You need to let your kid to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, you need to make a fool of yourself. You need to feel a bit. You need to feel a bit stupid in that moment of. There's no dumb questions. Like I mean, I could go. Siamak, how does hair grow? I mean, like.
No, it's not dumb. Actually, it's actually a very good question. Okay. If you think about it.
There's no dumb question. What's a dumb?
There's no dumb question. No, there's no dumb question. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean,
I was trying to slip it up.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
I actually noticed, like, working for many studios, I worked in places that I don't want to name. One of them was like, every time I asked a question about the project or how should we do this or how should we do that, there was a blame. Like the manager was looking for a way to say, why you're asking this question? Why do you say that? Why do you do this? You know, to find a way to blame me for asking my questions. And then one time I pulled him on the side and I said, hey, listen, you're my manager. It's okay. I'm also a manager myself. But I will ask questions. If you're not comfortable with my questions, then I'm going to ask someone else. Because I think asking questions is super important. If you're disagreeing with it, then we shouldn't work together. I don't care how dumb my question seems to you. I want to ask my questions. If you don't give me that freedom, then I'm not going to work with you. And I was like, oh, okay. When did I not listen to you? You just started melting down. I'm like, always. Every time I ask something, you try to put me down and say, why do you ask this? Why do you ask that? Whatever. I want to ask a stupid question. Let me ask my stupid questions. If you just give me a stupid answer, that's it.
They're probably they're probably on another train of thought while you're trying to find out the answers or something. They're probably like, oh, Siamak, you know, probably maybe I don't know some issue. Yeah, some issue.
It's just judgment, right? It's like this guy doesn't know. Why did he come here to work with us?
Yeah,
it's like that.
Probably,
that's why every time. Yeah, go ahead.
Probably jealousy, maybe. I mean, what else? What else can
Jealousy
it
could
be?
be insecurity, jealousy,
Yeah.
or thinking like, you know,
What is
when
it?
I work with junior artists, if they ask
Mm,
me any questions, something this happened to me many times. Like they say, "Sorry, this is a stupid question." I'm like, "No, don't even say that. There's
mm,
nothing stupid about it, and don't be sorry ever again.
mm.
When you ask a question, you don't need to be sorry." So
Yeah,
I'm glad that you're asking. Ask your questions.
yeah, you get that from people. Oh, sorry, this is a question. It's like, sorry, like you know when you're
Why
apologetic for,
sorry?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand why sorry. Just because I'm asking you a question, I should be sorry. I didn't kill anyone.
Well,
I didn't
that's what I
punch you in
think
the face.
women tend to sometimes. I think Amy Schumer did the whole oh sorry the joke that women say sorry for things they're not sorry about. So it could be something like a habit of saying sorry, but they
Yeah.
actually don't mean to. You know, it, it's funny. It's like
You know,
they're
there's
probably not aware of themselves saying sorry, but you're really
yeah,
aware of it, and they're just like, oh, I asked the question, but I didn't realize it said sorry. But it's just that it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
form that they developed to get to the question that I don't know. They probably didn't even. They're probably not aware of that as much as you think. That's
It's bad. Actually, sorry is not a good word. It's not a good word. Sorry is a
yeah,
negative thing. Sorry
yeah,
is
it
putting you
is.
down. Sorry is actually putting the when you're asking a question, if you're sorry about it, you shouldn't ask it. You
Mm.
know. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
like
you're putting negative on you and on the
mm,
person that you're asking. If your question is stupid, then you shouldn't ask it because you're wasting the other person's
mm,
time.
yeah,
If you're asking it, and I think there's no question is as stupid as I said, right?
mm.
So that's
You
the
could
thing.
look.
Like
You
I
could
mean,
get like a really stupid question. You could. You
I,
could get a really,
I
and then you could be sorry. Like you could be like,
do you know do you know Weesauce? The channel Michael.
what's that?
Uh, there's a YouTube channel called Weesauce. Michael is the guy who
Vsauce.
is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah. So he has a video. He says, "How many holes are in our body?" Is that a stupid question? It might sound as stupid actually. There's no
I
reason
mean,
to find out how many holes in our body is in our body, right?
yeah.
So,
Well, not. I mean, you got to think about it for a second and just really. I mean, is your
but
eye
it's not as
a hole?
stupid.
Your eyes considered your ears. That's not like
I
mouth.
mean, all the pores and everything. There's hole
Ah,
everywhere.
okay, you're
So
talking about micro holes. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I'm talking about literal. I'm
Yeah,
thinking geometry.
no, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: there's no stupid questions. And do you watch MMA?
Yeah, I watched a little bit here and there. Yeah.
So do you like Conor McGregor?
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's quite a
Yeah,
showman. Yeah.
yeah, he's very cool. I like him
Mm.
a lot. Like he's a fighter. He's a true fighter.
Yeah.
He has a video. He says, "I want to take this." After he wins the match, he's like, "I want to take this moment and absolutely apologize to no one." It's a funny video. Just so I like it when he says that, you know,
Yeah.
because it's he's not sorry. He's a
Mm.
king. He won't. He
Mm.
worked hard for this, you know.
Mm.
Even people ridiculed him at many times, like he was poor. He was in bad situation, right? But he
Mm.
pulled himself up
Mm.
because he wasn't sorry.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, pity and sorry is actually not a good thing. It's a negative thing. It pushes you down.
Yeah. He can't sit and apologize for nothing. But I was going to say we
Yeah,
are at 1 hour and 40 minutes. I don't know
we
if
can continue.
you'll go a little bit
We
longer.
can go for yeah. I don't know if there's like 12 people watching, but that's fine. I mean, we did it pretty late. We should make a schedule to do it like earlier so more
Yeah.
people can watch at the same time.
I was
This
just going to
can
say
leave.
I'm getting pretty hungry because we did it late and I was meant to eat. But
Yeah, I'm
I think
hungry too.
yeah, I think we'll leave it there. And yeah,
Do you want to
guys,
finish it now?
yeah, we'll finish it here because I'm all I'm thinking about now is food. So that's the
Do you
problem.
get angry when you're hungry?
I used to, and I've learnt to
Do you know why that's happening?
that you get angry.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You get angry because when you're hungry, you need to be angry to hunt.
Ah, there we go. That's just that's I think it's a good leaving note actually for people because that's actually
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think
So
about
it's
that.
not bad to be angry if you're hunting, you know?
That's pretty cool.
And it's not bad to be hungry.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So it is, yes.
That is a good one. All right, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, we'll have another one coming next week, and more things to talk about.
We can do it more often.
Yeah,
maybe we can do it more often. I'm actually going to do I don't know if you're coming to that one. I have a podcast with James Busby and me.
I have been waking up early. I might be able to do it. So
let's do it then. I mean, it's James, Mihai, maybe me, and
if I get up at 5, I'll probably have to pop on the computer maybe, I think hopefully half an hour after I get up. So yeah, I'll be pretty.
So you can join later. It doesn't matter. Like we start at 1 p.m. Seattle time, this Sunday, 1 p.m. We will start the live podcast on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then this is something that we will do on your channel, and maybe we can do one episode on my channel as well to just bring more audience. So it makes it
6 a.m. for me. Yeah. I'll see if it might be fitting.
I mean, you can join like 1 hour after, you know. You can join maybe at 7. We'll probably do it for 2 hours or 3 hours, something like that. So I don't know if you want to answer any questions or you want to just finish it here.
I think everyone's it's all good.
Everyone is
yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, if guys, stick around for the next one, and we'll keep on trucking, streaming.
We are going to grow this big.
We're going to be
big. Yeah, it's gonna. I have a feeling like we
the non-Joe Rogans.
Like this is gonna.
Well, I mean, you can't compare yourself. You can't compare yourself to Joe Rogan. I think
we will do our version, not Joe Rogan. You know, it's different.
See, I've always wanted to do more of this because it just revitalizes your energy a bit. Like sitting at home, and like there's so many good conversations that I've had with people, and they've been offline. And it's like, if I was on a podcast,
I wish I recorded this.
People would have loved it. So
yeah.
All right.
So we'll do this more.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Bye from me. Done.
Yeah, done. All right, see you guys. So I have to hit the stop button. All right, later, guys. Like and subscribe if you want more of this. So, see ya.
Yeah, subscribe.